Hi, it's March 18th, and in this recording I said the wrong date. But this is part of the sky to the west earlier today, and then I made this little video, which I'll show you in a minute, and then as the evening progressed, it was completely cloud covered. So here's this. They've been doing this all day. It is March. Uh, what is it? The 16th? But it's the 18th. I'm completely wrong. And this is in Wisconsin. All in the sky, and we're supposed to get rain. That's to the east, to the south. This is the west. This is directly above, and here's to the north. And that was at about 6:30 this evening. Okay. By the way, this whole thing right here is the corner of a building. It's nothing in the sky. And then this is at about 7:30 or so. And now it is completely cloud covered. That's the south, the west. That's to the north. That's to the east. Completely cloud covered. After they've been trailing all day. You can see some of them there finally. You can see some of it right in here. Disgusting. Okay, so I'm going to show you this thing on College of DuPage hemispheric IR loop. Okay, I just stopped it for a minute there while it loaded. You'll see like there is a little black line that comes down here, and then there's several that come down on this side. And the timestamp is right here. Oh, it is the 17th. Okay, so I was wrong. I don't know what day it is. I'll make sure I put the right day on here. Alright, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to zoom in. And we're going to get a little closer here. This is where the video was taken earlier, right here in this part of Wisconsin. And let's get to the arrows here. So we'll move it ahead a little at a time. There's the one I was talking about, okay. And move it ahead a little more. La 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 la. There's the other one. And you can see these clouds moving in here. But if we get closer, you can see this line extending even all the way to here. See these little black dots right in there. You can see how like weird that looks right in there. And the timestamp for that, I have to unzoom for us to see. Let's unzoom it for a minute. So you can see 1945 GMT time. We'll zoom back in there. I don't want to take up your whole time, and I don't want you to go away either, so I'm going to change enhancements. Let's put it on MD color. Now you can see these red lines right here, and you can see this red colorization is, this is temperature, but you can also see it, that little red dot right there. And if I go backwards, it goes way forward, it comes back. Just like these lines here that I was showing you. That is a part of that whole system. Let's change the color to color enhanced, and you can see them right there. We'll go backwards, gone, forward, there, forward one more time, gone. So let's go back again. Let's unzoom it so you can see that in there very clearly. See? And we'll come back down. Oops, sorry. Come back down. And this is the system that's moving down into this area. And this is affecting that system, along with probably all of this, and I'm sure this too. And the timestamp on that I can't see with that color, so I have to put it back to just plain old blah. 2145. Pick enhancement. I love these because sometimes you can see them better and you can see things better and sometimes you can't. Let's see, this is way over here. So I believe that some sort of energy that's being put into the atmosphere. Look at this huge thing right here. That's being put into the atmosphere to influence it, change it, affect it somehow. So what does the National Weather Service say is going to happen in my area? Hazardous weather outlook. Rock County is where I live. A period of wintry precipitation is likely tonight, perhaps lingering into the morning rush on Friday. Snow, sleet, and freezing rain are possible before everything changes to rain. Why would they want it to be like that? I cannot tell you. I don't have the answers to every experiment that is being done or what kind of situations are being set up. And then it'll get warmer and warmer. I don't know the answers to all that, so I can't answer your questions to any of that. The only thing I can really do is tell you that this is what I see, and we'll look at the radar in the National Weather Service so you can see it's coming down here now. And that's what I know. So this is in telecast for, this is the great continent of North America here. I'm going to show you the temperatures, which are changing on here. 60s in this area, and then it's much colder to the east. And all this is moving in that direction and down. So 35, it's warmer up here in Minnesota than it is down here. But that will be changing by tomorrow. Okay, so we'll get rid of the temperatures for now. And this area in here is wintry mix for now. So that is all being affected all the way up through Canada. Okay, this is what this says. Winter weather advisory remains in effect. The dark gray is freeze warning remains in effect. Okay. This in telecast only works, I believe, for the United States. I don't think it works for Europe. No, it doesn't. But this is quite a sharp cloud system right here that is heading toward Europe. And look at this, wouldn't that be nice if that was heading to put some water in Africa? Here's the Mid-Atlantic Weather Station loop. I like this because it has a lot of different stuff on one spot. So I'm just going to kind of go down it fast so you can see it. It's pretty warm down here. Look at this, spinning around down here. But I think that's me. Isn't it cool how it does that? Let's look at another spot. Let's close that. This is kind of fun to play with. Ta-da! Okay, let's keep going. Water vapor. More radar. Forecasts. Lightning. So concerning the weather, this is an article from Democracy Now! Facing famine, 20 million people need food, not bombs. I'm not going to read you the whole article, and you can click on the link, which will be below, by Amy Goodman and Dennis Moynihan. They're talking about how the world is facing the most serious humanitarian catastrophe since the end of World War II, and all these people are starving, and Donald Trump is talking about taking money out of the UN. Famine in these four countries is avoidable. President Trump should fully fund food shipments, not arms shipments, and spearhead much-needed diplomacy to avoid the immense catastrophe of 20 million horrific deaths by starvation. This is what would make America great. And what is part of what's going on there, this is the RSOE, is in Somalia, nationwide drought. We'll click on here and look at the description. Somalia's prime minister says 110 people have died from hunger in the past 48 hours in a single region. This is from 12 days ago. A severe drought threatens millions of people across the country. It was the first drought-related death toll announced by Somalia's government since it declared a national disaster on Tuesday. The United Nations estimates that 5 million people in this Horn of Africa nation need aid amid warnings of a full-blown famine. And when we go down to here, it says, because of a lack of clean water in many areas, there is an additional threat of cholera and other diseases, UN experts say. Some deaths from cholera already have been reported. The government has said that widespread hunger makes people vulnerable to exploitation, human rights abuses, and to criminal and terrorist networks. The UN humanitarian appeal for 2017 for Somalia is $864 million to provide assistance to 3.9 million people. But the UN World Food Program recently requested an additional $26 million plan to respond to the drought. So besides a drought, this article is saying that the South Sudan crisis is man-made, calling the famine a direct consequence of a conflict prolonged by South Sudanese leaders who are unwilling to put aside political ambitions for the good of their people. And this is talking about the whole drought area in Africa. 4 regions in Africa were singled out last month by the UN General Secretary. Populations in Somalia, along with northeast Nigeria, South Sudan, and Yemen, are all facing food insecurity, to one degree or another due to an ongoing drought, failed crops, and internal violence. Okay, so here is a picture. Okay, I'm including a link for this paper that was from July 2013, report from expert team on weather modification research for 2012 and 2013, International Weather Modification Conference in Bali, Indonesia in 2011, and plans for the future. And if you go down further, they have all these countries that are involved in this at the time of this paper and what they're doing, and then they explain some of the things that are being done, so you can look up this link yourself. Okay. Here from the BBC is a whole article about pilots who make it rain and cloud seeding. More information from Business Insider, and when they were using weather modification from 1967 to 1970. And then here's an article about how engineered drought devastation is wreaking havoc on 4 continents. And there is good reason for causing drought and population death in Africa. This is from Al Jazeera, and I'm just going to go down and show you this map. And this is where